2023.
Name's Rocket. Rocket Raccoon.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's
Peaches, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna do my own thing. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
Do you guys ever think about dying?
Some things have been happening that might be related.
You have to go to the real world.
I'm coming with you.
Okay.
Barbie in the real world. Ideas live forever.
Welcome to Quantum Recast. I am your host today, Cass, and with me are two special guests and friends of the podcast, Aly and Kristi.
Hello.
So this will be our first girls cast, which I'm really excited about, because we will be doing 2023's biggest film, Greta Gerwig's Barbie, which I think will be really fun for the three of us. We've been friends forever, so doing Barbie will make this like really, really interesting, but I'm excited.
Well, because
sorry,
I'm interrupting. It's a movie we all liked, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. So perfect.
Yep. You saw, and you guys might have saw that we are going to be taking this movie to 1997 because that's what we do here on Quantum Recast. We take a movie out of its original release year and throw it into a time machine, and we take it forwards, backwards, or even diagonal through time, and we're just taking this back to see what Barbie would look like in the late 90s. We're going to say what we love about it, maybe what we don't love about it, but it's Barbie. I enjoyed every bit of it. But then we're going to see what it looks like in a fresh 1997 looking cast. If you like the show, please be sure to follow us and like us. We make such good content. We have TikTok now, which is really fun. And we have our Twitter and Instagram. We try to reply back to everyone. We like hearing your opinions. And our social medias are usually at Quantum Recast. Please follow us. We enjoy the interactions. So as mentioned, we are doing Barbie 2023, directed by Greta Gerwig, written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. And Aly, if you could, can you tell us about the useless critic stats?
I would be more than happy to. So on IMDb, it has a 7.0 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has 88% critics, whereas the audience score is at an 83. Metacritic, the critics gave it an 80, whereas the user score dipped a little bit. It's at a 5.1 out of 10. And then with Letterboxd, it is sitting at a 4.0 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Letterboxd really enjoyed that movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't say that I blame them.
What did you give it on Letterboxd, Aly?
I believe I gave it a 5 out of 5, if I'm not mistaken. I absolutely loved this movie.
It's impressive that it got 4 out of 5 because Letterboxd is brutal.
Letterboxd, yeah.
Yeah,
Letterboxd
and so I'm really glad to hear that it's ranking so high on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
So as mentioned, we're taking this movie to 1997. Kristi, can you actually give us the top 10 box office movies?
Yeah, certainly. So starting at the bottom rather, number 10, Good Will Hunting. Number 9, As Good as It Gets. Number 8, Speed 2, Cruise Control, which is surprising. I don't know that I've even seen that one. Number 7, Air Force One. Number 6, Liar Liar, which is the most quotable movie ever. Number 5, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Number 4, Batman and Robin, also very quotable. Number 3, Men in Black. Number 2, Bean, which interestingly enough made most of its money internationally, which doesn't surprise me because I know Bean is really, really popular in the UK as well. And number 1, surprising absolutely no one, Titanic.
Nice. I'm really curious about Speed 2, though.
Yeah, that's interesting that it's even in the top 20, if I'm being honest. I didn't realize there was a Speed 2.
I mean, they made a Cars 2, so there can be a sequel of anything.
Hey, listen now. There will be no Cars slander on here. I refuse. Although Cars 2 is trash, I'll admit that.
I don't even remember Cars 2 that well.
You're not missing much.
I'm not missing much with Speed 2 because Keanu's not in it, but... So now we know what the audience is like. Let's hear what did well at the Oscars. Let's put on our bow ties, dresses, whatever fancy clothes that you own. And Kristi, give us the Oscar winners in 1997.
Yeah, so we'll start at supporting actress. So supporting actress was Kim Basinger. Is it Basinger? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Basinger.
Yep.
So first off, we'll start with supporting actress, Kim Basinger from LA Confidential. Supporting actor, Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting. And I completely agree with that. He was phenomenal in that movie.
Valid.
Best actress, Helen Hunt, As Good as It Gets. Best actor, Jack Nicholson, As Good as It Gets. And the nominees for Best Picture, surprise, surprise, As Good as It Gets, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, and one that I love seeing on the nominee list, The Full Monty. That was a great movie. But the Best Picture winner was #1 at the box office as well, Titanic.
Nice.
Of course. Flattening
Shocking.
all the butts of everybody in the movie theater, even with the intermission.
Shocking everybody.
Yeah.
Now that we heard about how 1997 was, how do you think Barbie will change in the year 1997?
Well, seeing as how Barbies in 1997 were still the traditional, like, straight up Barbies where they didn't have any sort of like body diversity other than like slightly different skin colors and stuff. And I feel like, unfortunately, that may have been portrayed in 1997. And I feel like, we wouldn't have had as much variety as we did in the year 2023. And I am glad that this movie got made in 2023 because I feel like we would have been missing out on a lot in 1997.
Yeah, and especially, I think the tone of the movie would actually be different in 1997, especially when the song Barbie Girl by Aqua came out.
Yeah, the objectification of Barbie around this time was heavy.
Yeah,
no, I completely agree with Kristi. I think that if Barbie had come out in 1997, I don't think there would have been as much diversity. It's one thing that I'm really thankful that it did end up premiering in 2023 because I feel like there were so many... I feel like there were quite a few inclusive roles. So you have a trans woman, you see people who are in wheelchairs being represented. There's a whole lot of representation within Barbie in 2023. And I think we would have lost a lot of that in 1997, personally.
No, agreed. It does very well with the LGBT community, which, of course, a lot of movies now are really supportive of that. But if you do put it in 1997, it does change that sort of tone with it.
Yeah.
But I still think like 1997 would still have fun with it. It might not seem like how it was in 2023, but you're still going to have like a little bit of fun.
Oh yeah, they would make it over the top and bubbly. I mean, like this is around the time that movies like Spice World were coming out. So bubbly and over the top, I would not have, and Austin Powers and everything. So bubbly over the top was very much within this realm. And it's just, I feel like we definitely would have gotten that, but in a very dated way.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But we can talk about like why we chose this movie. Kristi, I believe you were the one that chose this movie for us. What was it about this?
Well, first off, I really just genuinely love fashion dolls. And I know that even as an adult, I love like Monster High dolls. And so the fact that they made a Barbie movie and the fact that they included all of the little tiny things that we all remember playing with Barbies, including the weird Barbie with marker all over her face and her hair chopped off. Like that movie hit so many notes for me, both nostalgic and personally. And so I really love that movie. And so thinking about it in a different time frame I thought would be really interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I watched the movie for the first time last week, and which I'm mad that it took me this long because I knew how like great it was doing. But once I watched it, I realized like how powerful it really was to women. Like even with the dolls, like I grew up playing Barbie dolls. Like I had decent amount, like even Monster High dolls, like you said. But like it was just nice to see such a meaningful movie for women and seeing that story behind it. So I feel like we really needed a movie like that where it wasn't completely judging us. Like, you had your certain scenes when Barbie was actually like, walking down the street and people were sexualizing her, but it wasn't super like bad. Like it wasn't like offensive in a bad way, but you see what women do feel when they're walking down the streets and they're being catcalled. So,
exactly. It was very much true to life in 2023. And, it was played for laughs whenever you see Ken coming out and he sees that, everything is like different in the real world. It's played for laughs, but also as women, we're sitting there kind of like, ouch, this is too real.
Yeah.
Ow, right in the reality.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there was there were several moments throughout the film where it felt like I was just getting punched in the face, you know? And I know that it was all done on purpose, but like, for an example, the one scene where he starts singing Push by Matchbox 20. We have all had that experience where a guy at a party just decides, oh, let me whip out my, oh, right, now here's Wonderwall. And it's just the most annoying situation in the entire world. And so watching that scene it was one of those where I was laughing super hard, but I was also rolling my eyes at how accurate it was. It was just so good.
If any of you have seen What We Do in the Shadows, the guy with the guitar at the party is definitely an energy vampire.
Completely agree.
No, but I think that's the great part about the movie, like with even with the different characters, like the different Barbies, like you related to all of them in a different way, like even Weird Barbie, or hell, even Allan. Like I feel like we've all been Allan once, but but I even like stereotypical Barbie, Margot Robbie's Barbie, like she was even relatable, where you feel like not that you're being someone you're not, but you're imagining such this perfect world. So when everything does start to like change, you just kind of realize like, okay, maybe this isn't me anymore. This isn't who I'm supposed to be. So it was just, that movie was really beautiful. It brought me to tears a couple of times. I'm surprised I didn't cry. And I never cry in movies, but that one really brought tears to my eyes just with different sort of scenes. So especially with Margot Robbie's performance.
Whenever I saw it the first time, I did not know what to expect because I know people were doing the Barbenheimer experience, and I actually didn't see Oppenheimer. And I still want to. It's not that I have anything against the movie. It's just I only did Barbie movie. I didn't do Barbenheimer. But no, my first experience watching it was, at first, it was just pure. Like, I loved the breakfast scene where she's like not, you know, she's not sipping the coffee or the tea, and she's, you know, dabbing her mouth with a plastic napkin or whatever. It's just all so perfect. And everyone's like, hi, Barbie. And I love that so much. But then as the movie went on, again, it catches you so off guard because outright in the reality. And also it talks a lot about like identity in a way that I didn't imagine that it would. And those are the parts that did bring me to tears, was self-realization and the identity that came along with it, and the idea of finding your own identity. And I did not expect that from a Mattel movie.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, the first time I saw it, so we did end up doing the Barbenheimer thing. We started with Oppenheimer and then ended it on what I thought was going to be a light note, but it was, you know, it got,
That's what I heard.
heavy at times. Yeah, well, even just Barbie got a little heavy at times, just like you said, all of the reality of it, and you know, this whole sense of identity. But it was so much fun with all the hi Barbies, you know, all of these girls dressed up in their cute little pink dresses, and just, you know, I remember leaving the theater and the attendant was just like, "Bye, Barbie," and it was so there. Watching it reminded me, like, there was this sense of connectedness that I've only experienced at in the women's restroom at a club. Where,
oh my gosh, that
you know
energy.
Yes, there's some, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to question it. But there's something about a women's restroom in the club where the girls are all for the girls. You need a bobby pin? Oh, do you need this? Do you need that? Should I get back with my ex-boyfriend? You know,
Yeah,
it's this
hate does
beautiful
not
sense
exist
of
in those.
community. Yes, it's awesome. Yeah, so that's what it felt like watching Barbie. And yeah, I absolutely cried. There were like 2 or 3 times where I ended up crying, and I was sitting next to Taryn's wife, and there were a couple times where she and I just held hands throughout the really tough scene. It was this really beautiful moment.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But it's oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, even though I didn't get to experience it in theaters, I did get to experience watching it with my mom. So that was actually kind of cool, because we would have times where we looked at each other and just went, or like, this is real. Like we both kind of like were on that same mindset where it was just, I don't know, it was sweet just to see certain scenes and just have like another woman there too, because it's relatable, and you just felt like you had someone to like lean on in that moment. But no, even what you're saying with the clubs, like the club bathrooms, like I just remember even in high school there was times that all the girls would go to the bathroom and just vent. Like it was just a moment where it's like you have that time where you're able to talk through stuff, or like you said, a bobby pin, like, should I get back with my ex? Like I've sat on a bathroom floor talking to a friend, helping her through a breakup. And she was fine with it. She said, "I'm sorry that I have you sitting on this bathroom floor." I said, "No, I'm here. Like, let's
This is what we do in the bathroom.
This is what we
support
do.
each other. One
Why do
thing
you-
I also. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, why do you think all of us women go to the bathroom at the same time?
Yeah, we support each other in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and finally, another thing I just liked about the movie was I was looking around at all the different characters, and I was like, I owned that Barbie. I owned that Barbie.
Yep.
I owned the President Barbie. Oh my God! Like, I was so excited because I felt like, oh my God, all my Barbies came to life.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I actually had my mom pull out all my Barbies and take a picture of them. That way I could
Aw.
see if, yeah, because she still has them. I don't know
That's
why.
so
'cause,
cool.
You know, it's
That's
been
awesome.
30 years since I played with her, 20 years. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And, you know, yeah, she sent me all their different outfits. And there were so many where I had completely forgotten I had owned them. And so it was really exciting being, you know, having those memories of, you know,
Totally hair
childhood
Barbie.
and Barbies and Polly Pockets and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Those were my jam for sure.
And one of the things that, you know, I guess was kind of expected, but also unique at the same time was the reaction that it got online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel like nobody was meh on it. You either
No.
fiercely hated it or you loved it. And I saw that meme of somebody editing bad reviews over Barbie posters, making it look cooler than it actually was.
I love it.
If you haven't looked it up, look it up. It's just Barbie reviews posted over Barbie movie posters, and it just makes it seem like such a really awesome movie. Like, I want to see this more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love the reaction it's seen online because it's people either love it or they hate it. And I can hear, you know, I love hearing out people who disliked it for reasons that, you know, maybe that they just wasn't their movie. But any reasons where it's just like, man, it's Barbie. I'm like, I don't want to listen to you. That's not again enough reason to dislike the movie is that it's just Barbie. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, more power to you if that's the case. But if that's why you write off an entire movie is that it's Barbie, well, that's kind of sad.
Well, and I think like usually that sort of reaction does come from some of the males. I won't say all of the males. Like there have been males that do go and see that, which is great because it's not just a in quotes chick flick. It's for anyone because
Mhm.
you even have those Ken scenes that are
Yeah,
so powerful
Knuff.
as well. You can,
Yes.
I am Knuff. But I and I've heard reactions from like certain males that they just were like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this movie because it's Barbie." And I'm like, "But it's not. It's more just you see even like towards the end like how Barbie and Ken's are like let's try to make this like an equal thing. Let's not make it all about Barbie and the Kens are just there or oh, let's make this so patriarchy and have the Kens like control the Barbie world." But it's just it's for everyone. And I think like once I watched it all the way through, I did realize that cuz I was fine with it. I was like, no, there have been males that go on to see this movie. Everyone can enjoy this movie. But like actually watching it myself, I was like, oh no, this is an everybody movie. All genders, all races. Like this is great. This is a perfect movie for everybody. But I definitely like I agree. The online, like everyone online, I've only ever seen positive reviews for it. I've not seen any negative reactions to it.
I've seen a couple, but it's from certain people whose opinions I already don't really care about. But other than that, no, I feel like the movie has some really interesting discourse in it, and the reaction online has been really interesting to look at because there are so many different perspectives. And I like learning about, you know, I like just listening to people, like Kristi said, you know, I appreciate everybody's opinion. So
Right.
to a degree.
No, I feel like if you're saying like, no, I didn't like it, that kind of opinion, you just it's kind of hard to accept that sort of opinion because they don't have a reason. But if it's like, oh, it's just not my type of movie, then I feel like that's understandable. But if they're diving too much into like why they don't like it, it's hard to accept that opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I was actually talking with one of my bosses at work about it because he and his wife saw it, and I was really surprised. He wasn't a huge fan of it, and so here's the deal with me is that I respect most people's opinions, you know, so long as they're not saying, oh, well, it's Barbie and I just know it was stupid.
Right.
Like, give me a valid reason why you were not a fan. And so I was really surprised when he told me that he didn't like it and he thought that I was going to go off on him. And it's like, no, like movie making is an art form and art is subjective. There are some
Yeah.
movies that some people really like that I think are personally overrated, and
Yes.
you know, so on and so forth. And so, yeah, being able to talk with coworkers and getting their opinions on it and perspectives, it's been really interesting to listen to.
Yeah. All right, Aly, Kristi, are you ready to cast?
Yes,
I am
ma'am.
prepped.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
1997.
Pool party.
Very shagadelic. How do you like them apples?
I'd like to take his get off my plane. Lost world is found.
You have arrived.
All right, but first, we need to go over the rules. Since I'm the director, that means that I've sent a cast list to Aly and Kristi and said, give me a great 1997 Barbie movie, and they'll put together a cast list. And they're gonna go role by role, actor by actor, and they're gonna pitch me the actor they put in these roles. However, you can't just cast anyone. We have rules. If time travel movies have taught us anything, you just don't get a time machine consequence-free. Rule number 1, anyone y'all have chosen for Barbie 1997 must be alive in 1997. They cannot be deceased. We don't use the time machine for such macabre purposes. Rule number 2, anyone you cast must be essentially not in prison or a prisoner of war. Rule number 3, anyone you cast in Barbie 1997 must be active. They must have at least 1 acting credit on IMDb in 1997 or sooner. We can't discover new talent. And then finally, rule number 4, anyone you cast in this 1997 version of Barbie will lose all major film credits from that year. And then as the director, I get 2 power-ups. My first power-up is that I can do the old switcheroo at any point in the casting. I can take any 2 actors that have been chosen, that have been placed on the board, and I can switch them in their respectable roles. And then my second power-up, the better power-up, the real power-up, which the real power is I can override. At any point, I can override your picks and tell you to take yours back, and I can put mine into play, but I can only do that once, and it must be during the actual casting.
Tim the Toolman Taylor is shivering in his pantaloons right now.
Shivering in his timbers. I don't know why I made it pirate.
I know, if I could do the grunt, I would have done that instead, but I'm not going to embarrass myself quite yet.
Ho, ho. That's the best I can do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first we're going to start with our 30 seconds or less, where we can cast some smaller, memorable roles that we don't quite have enough time to spend on. Aly, would you do us the honors and tell us who our 30 seconds or less cast is?
I would be more than happy to. All right, so starting from the bottom, we have Ruth, who is played by Rhea Perlman. I think I pronounced her name right. Apologies if not. We have Mermaid Barbie, played by the one and only Dua Lipa.
Nice.
We have Mattel CEO, played by Will Ferrell. We have Dr. Barbie, who is played by Emma Mackey. We have Rival Ken, not Kim, by Simu Liu. Wait, how do you say his name?
I think it's Simu Liu. It might be
Liu?
Liu.
All right, apologies again. I'm terrible. And then we have President Barbie, who was played by Issa Rae.
And since I'm going to be the director, I'm going to start from Ruth and go down the list. And I'm going to actually start with Aly first. So once I say Ruth's name, I'll just give it to Aly. You give me your pick, and Kristi, you say who you got. And then I'll just continue on from there, picking who I think is best for said characters. So
sounds like a plan.
All right, so let's start with Ruth. Aly?
I am bringing you the one, the only, Betty White.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, well, seems like there's a consensus because I also said Betty White.
Nice. Awesome.
So we know who Ruth is going to be.
I love it. Yes,
I mean, how can you do anyone else? There is no one else.
There's nobody else.
You have to have Betty White. She's so warm.
Alrighty. Mermaid Barbie.
Do I go next?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm
bringing you the sultry Angelina Jolie.
Ooh,
okay. That's a good choice. Okay, my choice was Heather Graham because she has such a unique face and wears the blonde and all different shades of hair color so well. And she has such a unique face that I think if you made her up as different mermaid Barbies, she could really look cool as multiples.
Solid.
All right. I am going to go with Angelina Jolie. I really do like that pick. I think that's a solid pick.
It's a good shout, yeah.
Angelina Jolie. All right. Mattel CEO.
So I was thinking, think of the comedy here. Robin Williams. All of the improv would be fantastic, in my opinion.
Solid.
See, I thought Robin Williams, but I'm like, I have never really seen Robin Williams in a villainous role, even a cartoonishly villainous role other than 1 Hour Photo. And so my choice was Danny DeVito.
Solid. I was
because
solid.
Going based on comedy and making a fool out of themselves, who is better around that time than Danny DeVito?
As much as I love Robin Williams, I really like the idea of Danny DeVito. Like, that makes it really fun. That's solid. Now
In a
I gotta-
suit and everything, just being a guy.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. Alrighty. Dr. Barbie. Who is our Dr. Barbie?
Go for it.
Go. I'll go ahead and go. So for Dr. Barbie, I was thinking Halle Berry.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good one.
yeah.
Dr. Barbie, I picked Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
That's also solid.
Because she's
Yep.
very elegant, yeah. And
Yes.
Dr. Barbie, you see her later in the little French maid outfit and everything. But before that, she's very she has this poise about her, but also she switches into that airy ditziness really well. And I think that Sandra Bullock could do both of those really well.
Yeah. I actually will go with Sandra Bullock. I really actually like that a lot. Plus Speed 2, maybe that'll help her.
right, yeah. Speed 2 being high on the list there.
All right, Rival Ken.
alrighty. For Rival Ken, I'm bringing you Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I like
That would be fun. I could see him. I could totally see him, just trying to make our Ken super jealous.
I dig that. So I went back and forth between two different rival Kens. So if we're staying true to the ethnicity of the casting, absolutely Jet Li, because he was becoming really popular around that time, and he could definitely do that. Now, if they were still wanting to do a diverse cast, but again, this is 1997, and they wanted to bring in some diversity, I think that they would pick somebody like Eddie Murphy. Because he plays a good antagonist. Yeah. A good, poking fun at you antagonist.
Yeah.
I think either of those. I would go with Jet Li, but going based on the time it's being cast, I'm not sure that Jet Li would have been Hollywood's pick, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea of Jet Li. Keanu Reeves is really pulling me in, and I really
Keanu
just want to
Reeves.
see. I'm going Keanu Reeves. I have to.
I'm down with that.
But Jet Li was a really, really solid pick as well. And finally, let's go with President Barbie.
This was one that I'm not super confident in my choice, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I chose Brandy.
Ooh, I like that. See, what I chose? President, Queen Latifah.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a
I
solid
like that
pick.
one.
She's got that sass. She's got that big attitude. She is president.
Missed opportunity. Yes.
Mhm.
Aly, all I think of her is Scary Movie 3. So I gotta pick her for President Barbie because
Darn it,
that's
the
on
Oracle has beaten me yet again.
So, yeah, that's pretty solid. I gotta go with Queen Latifah. That's perfect. All right, so that was our 30 seconds or less. Now it is time for our main cast. Kristi, can you go over our main cast?
Yes, so the 2023 cast is Barbie, of course, the gorgeous, fantastic, talented, funny Margot Robbie. Ken, Ryan Gosling, again, I feel like it was a perfect pick for the role, especially with the spray painted abs.
Yes.
So funny. Gloria, America Ferrera, Sasha, Ariana Greenblatt, Weird Barbie, Kate McKinnon. I love her. And Allan, of course, Michael Cera, the world's most awkward man.
All right, so we will actually start it with Allan.
Hi, Barbie.
Oh, hi, Allan. There are no multiples of Allan. He's just Allan.
Yeah, I'm confused about that.
Who is played by Michael Cera. And if you don't know who Michael Cera is, he is from a bunch of different movies. Superbad, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Juno, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, and my favorite, This Is the End. And the character that Michael Cera plays as Allan he's marked as Ken's friend who could also fit into Ken's clothes and just feels like an outsider in Barbie land hoping to escape, but then decides to help the Barbies to take their world back from the Kens. So Allan's just your little, he's your little, I don't want to say nobody, but he is like an outcast. Like he's his own person. Everyone's Ken, everyone's Barbie, and then there's just Allan. So I feel like the role with Michael Cera was really, really spot on and perfect. So it is going to be fun to see where you guys go with for Allan. So this time I will actually take this to Kristi. Kristi, you can do the casting first for Allan. So who did you cast?
So my casting choice for Allan would be Adam Sandler, because love him or hate him, if you've seen him in Little Nicky, you know he plays a weirdo so well. And he would be such a goofy, have the self-deprecating humor that Allan needs. So I think he would be a great Allan, in my opinion.
No, that's spot on. And it's early Adam Sandler too. So I feel like with that
Exactly,
role,
yeah.
it's perfect. I feel like, but with Allan, or not Allan, but Adam Sandler, I just think of early like Happy Gilmore. What was the other one? Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, and it's almost gonna feel a little aggressive, but it's gonna be perfect. Like it's just it works for Allan. But no, I like that. Adam Sandler's fun. What was he doing? Was he doing anything in 1997?
You're in luck. He's in nothing in 1997.
Sick. Let's just go with Adam Sandler.
Gilmore, and then 98 was Waterboy and Wedding Singer, which is one of my faves.
Nice.
Well, cool. Adam Sandler's my Allan pick.
The fight scene alone.
The fight scene would have been great with Adam Sandler.
Free agent. All right. I like it. Aly, who did you pick for Allan?
All right, guys. I was having a lot of trouble with this one. I'm going to be completely honest. Adam Sandler was one that I thought of. I also thought Jim Carrey might have been kind of funny, but he was in Liar Liar that year, and I'm not going to take him out of that. Sorry. I'm going to go with my first choice. I'm going to go with Devon Sawa, I think is his name. He was 19 in this year. I recently watched Idle Hands for the first time. And
oh my gosh, I love that movie.
Comedy really well.
He is so good. He is hilarious.
The movie I wasn't the biggest fan of, but he was fantastic in it. It was
he does a great job.
Were great. So I'm going with that. That's my choice.
And I haven't seen Idle Hands, but I did watch the movie the year after, which was SLC Punk. And his character was very, like, he was out there. He was a very out there character. And I just feel like this is early Devon Sawa career as well. So, like, his roles were kind of, like, he was younger. He was 19.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, I don't want to say obnoxious, but it makes sense to him to be the odd one out. So for Allan, I feel like that's really, really perfect for Allan.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel... I'm sorry.
No,
I also feel because the rest of my cast is pretty much in their 30s. And so I think it would also kind of enhance that whole, he is kind of that outcast. And I think that, the age would really help as well. But yeah.
No, that works. Being the youngest of like the Barbies and Kens, that's perfect actually.
He'd have the roundest face and everything. So I am with you, Aly, actually.
These are both solid choices.
Well, I will say, I've never seen Wild America, so I'm willing to lose him in that.
Okay.
I think Nick has made the comment back on the Bill and Ted podcast when I chose Devon Sawa as, I think I chose him as Bill. And Nick had an issue with it because he was like, aren't you taking him out of Wild America? But... But I am going Devon Sawa because I really do like that pick for Allan. I think that's a fun pick. Adam Sandler is also really, really perfect, but there's something about Devon Sawa in that role, just being the odd one out. And it'd be good for his career.
That's kind of, that's what I was thinking as well.
No, I love that. I think you both picked really great options, but alrighty. So now let's go with Weird Barbie.
Come into my weird house. Hi, I'm Weird Barbie. I am in the splits. I have a funky haircut and I smell like basement.
Oh my god, I had a weird Barbie.
Yeah, you did.
You make them weird by playing too hard.
It's cool.
Played by the one and only Kate McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know who Kate McKinnon is, Saturday Night Live is one of her biggest things. Ghostbusters 2016, Rough Night, and The Spy Who Dumped Me. And basically, Weird Barbie is an outcast due to her disfigurement from being played with wrong, who tells stereotypical Barbie she must find the child for... Sorry, Siri popped up for some reason. I don't know why. Let me start that over. And she is an outcast due to her disfigurement from being played with wrong, who tells stereotypical Barbie she must find the child playing with her in the real world to cure her afflictions. And honestly, I wish I had a Weird Barbie because I loved her. But I feel like the way that Weird Barbie is set up, she's very like, it's whoever you wanted to be creative with growing up, where it's like, oh, I want to cut her hair. Let's see how it looks. And then you just realize that you've completely destrored your like.
And you draw makeup on her. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she's always on the splits. That's another thing where I'm like, where's the lie? I felt so seen throughout the whole movie.
Well, and that's what was perfect for it with like Kate McKinnon is that it could be the most serious scene. Like America Fiera is having a full blown dialogue, and you just see Weird Barbie in the background doing a split, like against the wall.
Yeah, just foot on the wall. Yeah,
it's so good.
But, and the way she just like cartwheels around the place.
Yes. But no, I feel like you have to have someone like fun for that role as well. And Kate McKinnon did such an amazing job. So yeah, Aly, since you made it, you get to you get to take it. Who is your Weird Barbie?
All right, y'all. I was pretty proud of this one. I'm going to be completely honest. So, this gal was in one movie in 1997, but it was a very, very small part to the point where she did not even have a name in the movie. This person would be perfect at playing awkward and also hilarious. And I'm giving you Molly Shannon, another SNL alum. I think that she would be fantastic as Weird Barbie. If you don't know who Molly Shannon is, she's known for being on Saturday Night Live, obviously. She was also in Superstar, and she's also in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So yeah, I think she would be fantastic as Weird Barbie.
Yeah, I agree.
So I know this isn't a visual podcast, but I wanted you on camera to see Molly Shannon.
Are you serious?
My pick as well. Dead serious. I had Molly Shannon. So I think this is a consensus.
That is
and for those reasons.
You and I are
because all I got was like
wavelength.
Superstar. Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
That's
honestly
awesome.
I can't see anybody else's Weird Barbie. I think we're keeping that. You guys did amazing for that. Two of them. Wow. You got Betty White and Molly Shannon.
Yeah. I mean, let's cast a movie together, shall we?
It sounds like a plan, man. Let's do this.
Oh my gosh. That's great. All right. Well, Molly Shannon is our pick. So now let's go with Sasha.
You've been making women feel bad about themselves since you were invented.
I think you have that the wrong way around.
You represent everything wrong with our culture. Sexualized capitalism, unrealistic physical ideals.
No. You're describing something stereotypical. Barbie is so much more than that.
Look at yourself.
I am technically stereotypical Barbie.
You set the feminist movement back 50 years. You destroy girls' innate sense of worth, and you are killing the planet with your glorification of rampant consumerism.
No, I'm supposed to help you and make you happy and powerful.
Oh, I am powerful. And until you showed up here and declared yourself Barbie, I hadn't thought about you in years, you fascist.
Who is played by Ariana Greenblatt, who is known for Infinity War as young Mora and is it Ahsoka?
Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. And plays the young Ahsoka. And Sasha is basically stereotypical Barbie's toy owner, a teenager who criticizes Barbie for encouraging unrealistic beauty standards, which I feel like she had a pretty good reason for that as well. Because there was times that I sat there going, wow, she might be going a little, like, she might be a little too mean. But then I'm like, no, because I guess all the Barbies that you do see are almost made to be perfect.
Yeah, they are.
World. So
yeah.
I definitely loved her little angst for it because she like wore the darker clothes, didn't really wear like the bright clothes that you would see on the
Barbie eyeliner, everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so since you both got that, we'll start with Aly again. So Aly, who is your Sasha?
Alrighty, so I had a lot of trouble casting the women in this movie. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So for Sasha, I was thinking about Tatiana Ali. So the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had just stopped airing in 1996. So she was in 2 movies in 1997, but one of them was called Kiss the Girls and Fakin' Da Funk. And neither one of them had really great reviews.
That's perfect. So we might be saving her?
Yeah, I believe that we would be saving her because honestly, even today, all she is doing is a bunch of Hallmark Christmas movies. So maybe if we got this one, we might be able to save her from that terrible fate. So yeah, so Tatiana Ali, that is my choice.
I love her. Like, how old was she at that time?
She was 18 years old, so she was fresh off Fresh Prince. She would be the perfect age, in my opinion. Plus, I feel like Ashley Banks, you know, who she played on Fresh Prince, obviously, if you have not seen the show. I feel like Ashley Banks was really bubbly and sweet and fun, and I think this would be an interesting role to see her kind of turn heel, if you will. I think I used that phrase correctly. We'll see.
No, yeah.
Sweet. I got the thumbs up. So, yeah, I think that she would do fantastic as like emo, angsty teenager.
No, and she would fit that. Yeah, she fits that really well. And I loved Ashley Banks and Fresh Prince. I think that's a pretty solid choice. But Kristi, who did you pick?
So my pick, her IMDb credits did not start at this point, but she had done acting previous to this. So I don't know if this really breaks the rules. I think it does, but she's slightly older than the actual role, but she has a baby face, and you know how Hollywood always casts older people for roles.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
She was about 20, I think, at this time, but with her round face and her attitude, I think Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, I didn't factor in Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, because she does carry that sullen attitude really well, and I think she could
does.
totally pull that off.
I could see that.
No, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
I like
And
that.
and you said she was acting.
She was
at the time,
acting at that time, yeah. Because shortly after that, in 2001, I believe, she was in Resident Evil and Fast and the Furious.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's a pretty solid choice too. I feel like Tatiana is who I'm gonna go with, only because, like, as you said, Aly, like, she's in a bunch of like Christmas, like Hallmark Christmas movies, and I feel like a lot of actors get stuck into those type of roles.
Yep.
Like even Vanessa Hudgens, like I feel like she's even done some of the decent amount of those, and I'm like, well, like even though you did High School Musical, we would have thought, but no, I think Tatiana is a fun choice, and I want to see her in something like this because you're going to see that angsty teen like drama, and I think she will do it really, really well, especially early Ashley Banks, like how she was acting towards Will. So yeah, no, Tatiana is definitely my choice.
Sweet.
All right, now that we got our Sasha, now it is time for Gloria.
You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault.
Who is played by America Ferrera.
Ferrera.
Ferrera. Ferrera. There we go.
There you go.
And if you don't know who she is, she was in Ugly Betty, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, How to Train Your Dragon, and Superstore. And Gloria is basically a Mattel employee and Sasha's mother, and she goes through basically a essential crisis and uses Barbie for that. So she basically helps Barbie through it, and all the other Barbies later on in the movie get back Barbie world. So yeah, I really liked the role of Gloria. She was really, really fun, and America did amazing with it. Like, you really don't see her that much and stuff. So this was a fun role, and especially playing that mom figure, helping like the Barbies out, like almost being a mother to the Barbies. But yeah. So Aly, since you made it, you get to take it. Who is your Gloria?
Yeah, another thing with Gloria, too, that I really liked is she gave one of the most beautiful speeches I think I've seen in a movie. That whole entire speech about what a woman is, I was a wreck throughout the entire thing.
Every woman in the theater was just like, preach.
Yes,
like,
so accurate.
Yes.
So much reality behind that freaking speech. And not that America Ferrera did it poorly. I don't mean it in this way. I mean it in the way that we all identified it. Yes. Any woman could have given you that speech.
Yes, we've all experienced it for sure.
Every aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I was looking to cast, I needed to make sure that I had somebody who would be able to give that emotional impact. And so this woman was 39 in 1997. She was in one movie, which I'll be honest, I've never seen, and it looked like her role was not very large. So I don't mind pulling her out of it. Guys, I'm giving you Angela Bassett for the role of
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. Angela Bassett's cool.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And if you don't know who Angela Bassett is, she was in Black Panther. She was also in a couple of seasons of American Horror Story. She's also in Boys in the Hood and a bunch of other movies. She's fantastic. So that is who I'm bringing to you for Gloria.
Stella's got her groove back, as I made that comment before that Angela. That's great.
I didn't even realize. Yeah.
Okay. No, I love Angela Bassett. She's
great.
An American Horror Story. That's actually like a good mindset because like she gave a bunch of different speeches in that, and Black Panther was her really good role for that as well. But no, I think that's a pretty solid pick. Kristi, who did you pick?
I picked, and this is maybe unexpected, but yeah. So I've seen The Cell, and I know that she's capable of carrying these emotions, but I picked Jennifer Lopez.
Ooh, okay.
Because if you've seen The Cell, you know she's good. Like, she actually does have acting talent. She's not one of those singers that just decided to be in movies because their agent pushed them to. No, she's actually a really great actress and can carry that. And I think that she would have a really, really cool time playing that like mature character that still holds on to that youthfulness. Yeah. And she could portray the heartbreak that falls into that.
What was she in that year? Is that the year Anaconda came out?
I don't remember. If that's the case, I'd be perfectly fine with taking her out of Anaconda. Yeah, it released in 1997 because Anaconda wasn't good. So
Ash is crying in the corner when we casted Anaconda. Oh my god. No, that's I do like J-Lo, and I think she does do really well in acting. I've not seen The Cell though. That sounds like that's a pretty solid movie.
Definitely see it.
How old was J-Lo at that time?
She was, I Googled it just now. She was like 28 or 29, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
She was mom age for sure.
Oh, definitely. All right. So with both of those, I will go Angela Bassett. Only because I've not seen the movie that she was in that year. What was it again? Was it Contact? Contact, sorry.
Yeah, Contact.
I do like J-Lo though. I just feel like with Angela Bassett, I do want that almost motherly role, like where it does feel like she's giving like that big speech, and that feels very Angela Bassett. And I don't know, like even though she's a big actress now, I feel like something like that would be like really, really do her well. So,
I plead you to watch The Cell and rethink your decision because she plays a child psychologist in that movie, and her warmth in it is beautiful.
Oh, I believe it.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll have to add that to my list on Letterboxd.
It's terrifying and wonderful, and I love it.
I will definitely watch that. I need to see Jennifer Lopez in more movies anyway. But all right, so that's our Gloria. Now let's hop to our main two cast, and we are going to start with the one and only Ken, who is played by Ryan Gosling.
I've been thinking, Kenland?
Kendom.
Kendom.
Kendom Land.
Land
of the free and the men.
Right. Well, this place
Kendom
is
Land.
really great. And the Kens really are just better at ruling than the Barbies ever were.
Well, we just took patriarchy and, made a patriarchy.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking,
Yes.
I'm ready to be your long-term, distance, low-commitment, casual girlfriend, if you'll still have me.
You just hold on for 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Sublime!
He was in Remember the Titans, Drive, The Nice Guys, which is probably my favorite Ryan Gosling, La La Land, The Notebook, and Blade Runner 2049. And Ken is basically the leader of the Kens, only happy when he is with Barbie and seeks a closer relationship, but she rebuffs him in favor of other activities and female friendships. And after following Barbie into the real world, he learns about the patriarchy and persuades all the other Kens to take over, and the Barbies are indoctrinated into the submissive roles, such as agreeable girlfriends, housewives, and maids. No, I really loved Ryan Gosling as Ken, because you needed that fun role, and he got so much hate for it, like before the movie even came out, because they just didn't see him as Ken. They just wanted in quotes, a pretty boy, but that's Ryan Gosling isn't just a pretty boy. He plays the funny role of Ken very, very well. Like, you needed that pretty guy, but you also needed someone that's going to make you laugh the entire time. So that's what I kind of like for Ken, is that you just need someone that's going to keep you like entertained the entire time. And of course, running around singing "I'm Just Ken" and "Push" by Matchbox 20.
It's so good. The whole "I'm Just Ken" song is a 10 out of 10. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they try to take that out, or was they tried?
Yeah, no, that they did. They tried to take
me, because that whole entire sequence is just a 10 out of 10. I mean, it is quite literally perfect. I could not have made it any better, especially with all the like sparkles going around and stuff. Oh, it's so good.
And just his hand movements just going like with the hearts and just kind of pointing at everything. It was great.
It's so good. Yeah, they ended up playing it at karaoke a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, that was a good time.
That's awesome. All right. Well, since Aly, You made it. You get to take it. So who is your Ken?
All right. So it was really hard to find an actor in 1997 that I think would do the role justice. This is an actor who originally was just a pretty boy, but as his career has gone on, we realize that he's actually secretly a character actor. I am giving you Brad Pitt.
Okay.
I need to.
I thought about him.
I was thinking, yeah, I think that he would do a really good job. He was in 2 movies that year, but from what I saw, neither one of them had great reviews. And I think that pulling him out of The Devil's Own and 7 Years in Tibet, I think could really change his career trajectory. I've never seen either one of them, but yeah, he's known for Seven. He's known for Interview with a Vampire, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and most recently Bullet Train, which is great.
I still gotta watch Bullet Train. The behind the bloopers of that movie are great.
Oh yeah, no, he's great.
No, I think, and he definitely is a character actor, and you just think of him in like Inglourious Bastards and how well he did in that. So giving like that vibe for Ken would actually be really, really fun. And you kind of get that vibe even like with Fight Club. So I that's solid. I do like the idea of Brad Pitt. But Kristi, who did you pick for Ken?
So I had 2 choices. The first one, and I did look up the timeline on this, it would be possible, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh.
It began filming in 1996 and ended in 1997, came out in December of 1997. Had they began in the beginning of 1996, it would have had a 1997 release and not coincided with his schedule. So that was my first pick, because he's really good. He's actually really good, obviously, at going big. He's got a gorgeous face at the time. You know, he's like everyone's pretty boy. But if he didn't do it, James Van Der Beek.
Oh, I didn't even think about James Van Der Beek.
He was like Ryan Gosling before Ryan Gosling.
Dang.
Huh. Yeah. Oh my god.
Because Dawson's Creek came out in 2000, so he wouldn't have been doing that at that time.
So who did you end? Who are you going with?
I'll go with James Van Der Beek.
Okay, cool. All right. Ooh, that put a twist on things.
I know.
That put a big twist on things. And I really do feel like Leonardo DiCaprio like would have done amazing for it too. So that was pretty interesting. But
yeah, I thought about him as well.
I will give it to James Van Der Beek. That's fun. That's fun. Brad Pitt was right there. Like that was a pretty solid choice. But there is something about James Van Der Beek. Like I want to see him in more because I haven't like I know of him. I've seen him in stuff, but like that is kind of a fun role, and I do like the comparison with him and Ryan Gosling. Like that's fun.
Yeah, very much so. Awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Nice. All right. And now for the finale, we have Barbie, who is played by the one and only Margot Robbie.
I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do now. I've always been stereotypical Barbie, and I don't think I'm really good at anything else.
You saved Barbie land from patriarchy.
That was very much a group effort.
And you helped that mother and daughter connect.
They really helped each other.
Maybe you're self-effacing, Barbie?
Maybe I'm not Barbie anymore.
And Margot Robbie, of course, is known for The Wolf of Wall Street, Suicide Squad, because she's Harley Quinn, Amsterdam, I, Tonya, Babylon. I almost said Babylon, but that's because of Zombie Land. But Barbie is basically stereotypical Barbie, suddenly stricken with worries about mortality. Overnight, she develops bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet, disrupting her usual routines the next day. She seeks out Sasha and eventually her mother Gloria, playing with her in the real world to cure her afflictions. And then, of course, over the course of the movie, she learns that she learns about like the life that women basically live in the modern world and helps Ken come to terms with his own sense of purpose, eventually deciding to become human herself, which was a really nice ending for her. I wasn't expecting it at all. And I did like how like the quote in the beginning was like, you know, I don't have a vagina and he doesn't have a penis. And then you get to the like end of the movie and she's like, sorry, I start laughing, but she, how did she word it? I know you two would know it very well.
Yeah.
I'm here for the gynecologist.
Yeah. And you think she's going in for a job interview or something, and she's just super excited. I'm here
to see my gynecologist.
Yep.
I love that. Yeah.
Which I think was a nice because yes, you did think like she was dressed up nice, like her hair was down. It was just all preppy, makeup's done, all dressed nicely.
Yeah,
and
but
then
she's so excited about it.
I'm here for the gynecologist. So
Sweet
no,
summer child.
I really like how she did like start to change. I loved her like in the beginning with the being in quotes perfect, living this perfect world. But I also liked how she was kind of putting Ken off. Like she wasn't like, I want to be in this relationship. She just was very all about the other Barbies and her activities. So I think that was really fun for her, like her character, because even like towards the end, she was being this independent woman, and that was perfect. But all right, Kristi, since you made it, you get to take this. Who is your Barbie?
All right, so initially I was like, Cameron Diaz, because she's got the goofy attitude and everything. But I think my ending, because of the blonde, the smile, and the ability to play comedy, Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Reese.
Huh.
I like that.
That's fun. What was she doing? Was she doing anything?
I looked her up. I don't think at the time she was doing much. Let me look. Filmography. Yeah, she started in 1991, and yeah, she actually had a gap in between 1996 and 1998 where she wasn't doing anything.
Awesome.
So Reese Witherspoon for me.
I like it. That's pretty solid.
Falling out of the bar stool.
But no, that I like Reese Witherspoon. I think that's pretty fun for her, and especially with Legally Blonde and Fear. Like I can imagine her like in that sort of leading role and just playing it out really, really well. So
yeah, I can see.
No,
it.
I like that.
Cool.
Aly, who is your Barbie?
I went a little bit older. So this woman was 39 in 1997. My mindset was, Margot Robbie is this absolutely stunning woman who's also incredibly talented. Like, and so I was thinking about Michelle Pfeiffer. She was 39 at this time. She was only one movie in 1997. She was in a movie called 1,000 Acres, and it didn't look very, I've never heard of it. Let's just be honest here. Pulling her out of that and pushing her into this.
Interesting. No, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer. And I feel like even with age with Barbie doesn't matter too much.
She's ageless.
I mean, yeah,
She is
I was going to say
ageless.
Barbie. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer and Barbie is ageless.
But and Reese Witherspoon, let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's true as well. No, I think you both picked really, really solid picks. And for, I feel like the same reason. Like they both can do that leading role very, very well. And I feel like I'm like imagining like when she's like crying in certain scenes, like even at the bus stop, when she's sitting like at the bus stop, like with just the single tear going down her face. I think they both can do it very, very well, show that emotion, show the perkiness and just having fun with it. But I will say, Reese Witherspoon has really taken the cake. Like that's perfect. That was a solid pick. I really love that. That's fun.
Thank you.
All right, and that is the full cast of Barbie. Aly, if you don't mind, can you go down our list?
Absolutely, I'm happy to. Alrighty, so for Ruth, we have a unanimous Betty White.
No.
For Mermaid Barbie, we have Angelina Jolie. Mattel CEO, the one and only Danny DeVito.
Woo!
Dr. Barbie will be played by Sandra Bullock. Rival Ken is Keanu Reeves. Woo! President Barbie, and I'm still angry that I did not think about this one, Queen Latifah. And then for the main cast, we have Allan, who will be played by Devon Sawa. We have Weird Barbie, which, again, unanimous, Molly Shannon. For Sasha, we have Tatiana Ali. For Gloria, we have Angela Bassett. And for our main two, for Ken, we have James Van Der Beek. And for Barbie, we have Reese Witherspoon.
That's a solid cast.
That's a fun cast.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. It just Devon Sawa the little one. Maybe him and Sasha will get along.
Yeah. I like that idea. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, this was a good time.
No, I really like our cast list. That's perfect.
And with that, I must go. I'm so sorry. I've got to get out of here. I need other things to do. So I really, really appreciate you having me on the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on.
So thank you, Kristi, for being on. This has been really fun.
Yeah, this is a blast.
Of course. Yeah, I love getting to catch up, talk movies with you, and awesome. Thanks for having me as a guest on the podcast. It was fun.
Yeah.
Bye, Kristi.
That was great. All right, and thank you, Aly, for being on the show as well. This has been really fun to do an all-girl cast.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for having me on. This was I've really been looking forward to recording this with you guys. So
yeah,
I really appreciate you inviting me on and us being able to talk about one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, definitely. So that's Barbie 1997. Let us know how you feel about it. You can follow us on social media at Quantum Recast. Be sure to subscribe to the show and catch next time on our holiday episodes for Christmas. And since Nick isn't here, say goodnight, Allie.
Good night, Allie.